On today's video, we're going to tell you all the reasons you may want to avoid moving to the Raleigh, North Carolina area. Hello everyone, this is Chris Morton, real estate broker with the Morton Bradbury Real Estate Group. So let's get at it. We've made hundreds of videos about Raleigh, and I would say probably 99% of them are all positive. But we've made a commitment from the very beginning of this channel, and we honor that commitment now that we are always going to be honest with you, our viewers, and give it to you like you deserve to hear it. And so sometimes that means we need to give you all of the negative stuff so that you go into a situation like moving to Raleigh with your eyes wide open. So with all that out of the way, don't move to Raleigh, North Carolina if you have severe allergies. So this is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, as well as to one of the agents on our team, Isabella. She and I compete to see who can take our Claritin the earliest in the year to get ahead of the allergy season. We are in the South. There's lots of pollen in the South. Literally, we've said it many times on this channel, it's like an inch of green powder on the ground for about 2 or 3 weeks, and we're coming into that season right now. We have a black car. It is now a greenish black car. I'm very, very nervous. I've been taking my Claritin. Isabella ran to Costco and got her the giant sized bottle of Claritin because of what happened to her last year. I tell you these stories to say, if you have severe allergies, you may want to reconsider moving here. There are people who have allergic reactions to the Raleigh Triangle area all year round. And it's pretty miserable versus an area that's maybe drier like Arizona. So just know that if you have severe allergies all year round to pollens and things like this, the South and Raleigh in particular might not be a good place for you. Now, if you're like me and Isabella and you have crazy attacks for 3 weeks in the spring and 3 weeks in the fall, you can work around that with Claritin and all of the pills out there like that. But just be aware that if you have never had allergies in the past, moving here, you may want to buy Kleenex and Claritin because you might very well have allergies when you live here. The next thing we should tell you, don't move to the Raleigh, North Carolina area if you don't like rain. So we get rain throughout the entire year here. In fact, believe it or not, we get more rain in the Raleigh area than Seattle gets in the Seattle area. You can expect anywhere between about 3 to 4 inches of rain per month in the Raleigh area. And it rains most frequently in the summer, and that's of course when we also have thunderstorms. Basically from the middle of May until the end of August, expect to have the rainy season here in the Raleigh Triangle area. Fortunately, from September 1st or so all the way until the middle of May of the next year is generally a lot drier, although we do see rain in the winter and especially in like January, February, but it's nothing like what we get here in the summer. So bottom line, if you're not a big fan of rain and or carrying an umbrella, you might want to avoid moving to the Raleigh, North Carolina area. Another thing you should know about, and maybe a reason to avoid moving to this area, don't come here if politics is going to be an issue for you. So just know the Raleigh Triangle area is very mixed politically. There are pockets of our area that is very left-leaning, pockets of our area that's very right-leaning. Overall, because the Triangle is such a mixed bag of people from all over the country and really all over the world, and they're of course bringing their political views with them, because we're such a mixed bag, you really never know who you're talking to politically. So if you bring up your politics, you might make someone uncomfortable. So in general, in our area, people just avoid the subject altogether. In other words, you can't assume that a coworker, someone you go out to have dinner with, or even your next door neighbor would have the same politics as you. So if you love politics and you love talking about politics, this might not be a really good area for you because we kind of keep politics at arm's length here in the Raleigh Triangle area. Another reason you should absolutely avoid moving to the Raleigh Triangle area is if you're looking for a small town. Raleigh is a medium-sized city and it's rapidly growing, one of the fastest growing cities in the entire country. If you're looking for a small city, frankly, Raleigh is probably not at all a good option for you. The good news is if you are absolutely set on having a small town to live in, there are a lot of small towns and suburbs around the Raleigh area that you can go live in and get that feeling. And even if you have to work in Raleigh and take that commute into Raleigh, you at least have the small town atmosphere of, say, Zebulon, Wendell, Clayton, Fuquay-Varina, Youngsville to the north. The list goes on of smaller towns that you can live in, but just don't plan to move to Raleigh, like downtown Raleigh, and get that same feeling. Sorry. And along those lines, don't move to the Raleigh area if you don't like growth and change. As Raleigh continues to grow and be a hotbed for relocation, it's bound to keep changing and growing over the next few years. Frankly, having lived here since 1986, I don't even recognize parts of Raleigh anymore. Little tiny one-story, two-story buildings was on the lot last time I looked, and now it's a high-rise building. Just be aware, if you move to Raleigh today, it could look very much different in 5 or 10 years. Just 5 years ago, for example, traffic was a lot lighter than it is today. People were much more polite. They weren't zooming around trying to get from place to place like they are today. And just know, as the city continues to grow, you're going to have those growing pains that every rapidly growing city has. For most people, change is a very good thing, and living in a growing city is a great thing. But if that's not your cup of tea, then Raleigh, North Carolina, and the Triangle area may not be a good fit for you. The next thing we should share with you: do not move to the Raleigh Triangle area if you do not have a car, do not know how to drive, and rely on public transportation. Unfortunately, our area is very lacking in public transportation. Even from point A of Raleigh to point B of Raleigh, it's very difficult to get around. And most certainly from Raleigh to many of the other cities, although there is bus transportation that will take you from Raleigh to Durham or Raleigh to Chapel Hill, some into Cary. By and large, it's very, very difficult to get around this area, completely dependent on public transportation. So if you can't drive, it means you either need to learn how to drive or possibly reconsider your move to Raleigh. Sorry. Also, you may want to reconsider your move to the Raleigh area if you absolutely love a big city vibe. If you're the type of person that likes 24/7 action and you like to go bar hopping until 3 or 4 in the morning, and you like to have dinner at like 11:30 midnight on a Tuesday night, this is probably not going to be a good area for you. And so this is sort of the flip of the coin of what we talked about earlier, that if those people that want the small town vibe, well, if you want the big city vibe, Raleigh may not be right for you, because again, we're a medium-sized city. Generally things close around 10, 11 o'clock at night. And unless you're really into waffles at Waffle House, there's not very much to eat after 10 o'clock at night, especially on a weeknight. Now, this medium city vibe pleases most of the people that live here. It's something you really get used to and enjoy, that it's not crazy, go, 24/7 like New York City or Los Angeles or one of the other bigger cities. It's basically just the not too big, not too small city. So it sort of appeals to a lot of people. Plus, because our area is so wide and spread out, the area can absorb a population of 2.1 million, which is what we have currently, and it doesn't feel like you're in a densely packed city of 2.1 million people. That being said, again, if you like that densely packed go vibe, Raleigh may not be the place for you. Another thing we need to share with you, that if you do not like humidity, Raleigh Triangle area is likely not going to be a good place for you. We talked about the amount of rain we get in the summer. Well, along with the rain comes the humidity. It's very warm here, very, very humid. It's just something that you kind of get used to. I always tell the story, when I was a freshman at UNC Chapel Hill, it was a really hot summer, really humid, really hot. And the kids that were coming from up north or from the mountains of North Carolina, where it's generally cooler, they were like having heat strokes and passing out. Those of us from the coast were like, gosh, it's downright chilly here. It's like only 90 degrees. So it's kind of a matter of perspective, but just know that if you're coming from a cooler climate, you may get shocked by the warm temperatures of the Raleigh area. Now, that being said, it's something you're probably going to get used to. And certainly if you are miserable and sick of the snow and the ice and all that garbage that they have up in the northern states, you're going to welcome the summer here, where you can have the nice warm weather and the relatively temperate climate of the winters we have here. But if you're into the snow, then you may not be such a fan of Raleigh, North Carolina. And of course, the flip side of this conversation about the humidity is You may want to reconsider a move to the Raleigh area if you absolutely love snow and have to have the snow in your winter, because frankly, it didn't snow this past winter. I don't think it snowed the previous winter. I had to go to Iceland to see snow. It was really bad. So if you really want to have snow, we may not be the area for you. Generally, when we have a panic snow blizzard effect and people run out and get the milk and the bread, and why do people buy milk and bread when it snows? I don't understand, other than making French toast. But anyway, I digress. But if you want that panic of the snow bread buying, milk buying time, we may disappoint you because we don't get very much snow. And when we do get the blizzard conditions, a Raleigh blizzard is an inch, 2 inches of snow, and then it melts in an hour and a half. So if you love the snow and love playing in the snow and throwing snowballs, we may not be the area for you. Sorry. So with all that out of the way, now that you're fully armed with the knowledge of Raleigh, if you're considering a move to our area, my real estate team and I would be honored to be your agents of choice. You can give us a call on the number below, email us at hello@mortonbradbury.com, or click on the link in the description. We'll be happy to help you get things started. Check out this video. We think you're really going to like this one as well. And like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already done so. And with all that being said, we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.